Hello students, welcome to the next lecture on the measure of the dispersion. Today I will explain you how you can find the quartile deviations with the help of the various examples. Myself Dr. Harish, you can follow and subscribe it where you can find the playlist of the probability and statistics. The last lecture on the measure of dispersions, quartile deviation concepts and the features. Now today's lecture I can categorize into the two forms. One is the ungrouped informations or ungrouped data and second is the frequency distributions. I hope you all knows what is the meaning of the frequency distributions whenever you have the class intervals and the corresponding frequency. While in case of the ungrouped data we have only x1, x2 and the information. That means there is no frequency involvement. Our target is to find the Q1, Q2 and the Q3. Q1 is called as the first quartile, Q3 is called as the third quartile and Q2 is called as the second quartile. The second quartile is also known as the median. Q1 first quartile is also called as the 25 percentile, Q3 is called as the 75 percentile and Q2 is called as the 50 percentile. On the other hand, the frequency distribution is divided into the two categories. One is based on the discrete, second is based on the continuous series. Continuous means you have to write in terms of the lower and the upper intervals, while in the discrete case there is no upper intervals. So ये सारे cases, discrete case, continuous case, ungrouped data, we will discuss the various example in this lecture. Now, first of all, whenever you have working on the quartile deviation, your target is to arrange the given data into the ascending order always. Remember, you have to write your data is always in the form of the ascending order, and then you can calculate the value of the Q1, that is basically my 25 percentile. 25 I call as a 1 by 4, therefore it's a 1 over 4. 75 percentile is called as the Q3, which is defined as a 3 by 4, that is a 3 by 4. Q2 is called as a 50 percentile, 50 is my 1 over 2, that is a 2 by 4 is 1 by 2. So I can explain you first of all what is the interquartile range, which is calculated as Q3 minus Q1, and the quartile range is half of the interquartile range. Both these interquartile and the quartiles are my absolute measure of the dispersions. However, if you want to calculate the relative measure, then we have to calculate the coefficient of the, this is the relative measure of the dispersion or the quartile deviations. The relative measure called as the coefficient of the quartile is always the unit less quantity, fine, while the quartile deviation and the interquartile deviation is always has a proper unit dimensions. For example, if I ask you calculate the quartile deviations of the following daily wages, your first target is to write the data in the terms of the ascending order. So what is the first number is 70, second number is 100, third is 120, fourth is 150 and so on. Now since n is my 7, so my target is to find the value of Q1. Q1 is the value of the n plus 1 divided by 4. So what is the n? N is my 7. If I substitute the value 7 plus 1, 8. 8 over 2 is second item. Fine. Now look at the data which you have arranged in the ascending order. What is the second item? Second item is 100. So your Q1 is my 100. Because the dimension is my rupees, so you have to mention that. अगर आप ये mention नहीं करोगे तो आपके marks deduct हो जाएंगे. Similarly for the Q3, you can substitute the value of the n. So n is my 7. 7 plus 1, 8. 8 3 are 24. 24 divided by 4. That will give you the sixth item. So what is the sixth item is 190. So Q3 is my 190. Therefore, the quartile deviation is defined as Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. You have a Q3 value, you have a Q1 value. I can substitute that, you will get the 45 dimension must be written in the answer. Look at the next one. The wheat productions of the 20 acres are there. Find the quartile deviations and the coefficient of the quartile deviations. First of all, you have to write the given informations in terms of the ascending order and clearly say n will be my 20. You can count them, otherwise the 20 is already given to you. Then your target is to find the value of the Q1. So what is the value of the n? N is my 20. So 20 plus 1, 21 by 4, that will give you the 5.25 item. So can you find the value of the 5.25? So clearly say it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 5.25 is not present. And whenever the information is not present, you can start from the first value. That is the fifth item. What is the remaining is 0.25. Fine. What is the next value of the fifth is? Sixth item minus fifth item. And that is the formula for that. Whenever n plus 1 over 4 is in terms of the decimal. Now you can substitute the value. This is my fifth observation. This is the sixth item. 1240 plus 0.25. Sixth item is 1320 minus 1240. You can use your calculator and do the calculation. You will get 1260 because all are in my kg. Fine. So the dimension is my kg. Similarly, you can calculate the Q3. I can substitute the value of the n. 21 into 3 divided by 4. So that will give the 15.75. Again, you can see the 15.75 is not present. So I can write as 15th item plus 0.75, 16th item minus 15. So you can calculate that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. I can substitute 1750, 1755 in the required expression. You will get the answer is 1753.75 kg. Once you can compute them, I can substitute both the values of the Q1 and Q2 into the quartile deviation. You can get the required answer is 246.875 kg. Similarly, I can substitute the value of the Q1 and Q2 into the coefficient of the quartile deviations. You will get the answer is 0.164 is the right answer. Make sure students, the coefficient of the quartile deviation has no unit. Why? Because the numerator has a unit kg, denominator has a unit kg, it will be cancelled out. So that's why this coefficient of the quartile deviation is my dimensionless quantity. That's why the coefficient of the quartile deviation is called as the relative measure. Fine. Now look at the second case. Whenever you have the frequency distributions. Whenever you have a frequency distribution, either the discrete case or the continuous case, we can always use the formula of the Q1 and the Q3. How you can remember it? It's a very simple. You can remember L plus H over F. We can remember Q1. Q1 is my 25%. So 25 is 1 over 4. Fine. So I can write as a N over 4. Q3 is my 75%. 75 I can written as a 3 over 4. So I can write as a 3n over 4. Similarly, if you want to calculate as a Q2 is my 50%. I can write the formula is L plus H over F. 50% means N over 2 minus C. And moreover, the N over 2 minus C is also the formula of the median. And that we already discussed that. What is the L? What is the H? L is the lower limit of the quartile class. Fine. सबसे पहले हम quartile class को find करेंगे. Fine. And then we can find the lower limit. Cumulative frequency just preceding of the quartile class. तो मैं ये example से समझाऊंगा आपको. If you look about this example, in this case, what is the H? H is my width. Fine. 2 का gap है ना सब में. तो H is my 2. While in the case of the discrete, H will be my 0. So once the H will be 0, so if you look about this formula, whenever H will be 0, the answer of the Q1 and Q3 will be only my lower limit. Fine. So my target is to calculate the limits. तो मैं इसको एग्जांपल से समझाता हूं, आपको 2 मिनट में समझ आ जाएगा. So first of all, you can see it's a frequency, but it's a part of the discrete. Fine. Now your target is to write the first information in terms of the ascending order, but because of the frequency you are unable to write in the ascending order. So how you can write that? I try to find the cumulative frequency. So I can write the table, amount of the text, number of the firms, the total is my 48. Now calculate the cumulative frequency. The first is 3, 12 plus 3 is 15, then 33, then 33 plus 12 is my 45, and then 48. Always make sure, students, the last value of the cumulative frequency and the total frequency must be same. It must be always same. अगर ये आपका सेम नहीं आता तो आपकी कैलकुलेशन मिस्टेक है. नाउ योर फर्स्ट टारगेट इज टू फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ द Q1. पहले मैं फॉर्मूला लिख देता हूं आपको. फाइन. अब मैं इसमें सभी का मतलब बताऊंगा. LHF का मतलब क्या है. सबसे पहले n/4 निकालिए. सो व्हाट इज द n? 48. n/4 is my 12. Now look at the cumulative frequency column. इस कॉलम के अंदर वो वैल्यू देखो जो जस्ट ग्रेटर देन हो. n/4 कितना है? 12. फाइन. जस्ट ग्रेटर देन तो 45 भी है, ग्रेटर देन तो 33 भी है. आपको वो देखना जो जस्ट ग्रेटर देन है. तो जस्ट ग्रेटर देन आपके पास क्या है? 52. बच्चों मैं यहां पे जस्ट ग्रेटर देन कह रहा हूं, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू नहीं कह रहा मैं. फाइन. अगर कहीं पे इंफॉर्मेशन मान लो यहां पे 12 होता तो जस्ट ग्रेटर देन नंबर क्या हो जाता आपका? 33. मतलब ये इक्वालिटी नहीं लेनी है आपको. फाइन. नाउ once you can find the just greater than number is my, what is that? Is 15. Fine. The corresponding class क्या आपकी? 11. So that is called as the quartile class. Fine. The quartile class is 11. Now you can write the value of the L. L is a lower limit of the quartile class. H, width, because there is a no width, that's a 0. F is the frequency corresponding to the quartile class. N is my 48. Capital C. Capital C is the value of the cumulative frequency just preceding of the cumulative of the quartile class. That is my 3. आप देख सकते हो मैं दोबारा जा रहा हूं आपके पास. डेफिनेशन क्या थी C की? Cumulative frequency just preceding the quartile class. Just preceding देखना है आपको. Fine. Now if I substitute all the values, 11 plus 0 is my Q1 is my 11 is the right answer. Clear? Similarly for the Q3, Q3 is my 3n/4. So can you calculate the 3n/4? 3n is my 48. That will be 36. Now you can see the cumulative frequency which is just greater than of the 36. Can you find the cumulative frequency which is just greater than? That is my 45. Fine. So once you can find the cumulative frequency is 45, again you can apply the formula L plus H/F 3n/4 minus C. So clearly say H will be 0. Fine. What is the L? L is my 13. F is my 12 and C will be my just preceding of the quartile class. That is a 33. So the answer will be only 30 because H is my 0. Once you can find the value of the Q1 and Q3, you can find the quartile deviations and the coefficient. You can substitute the value of the Q1 and Q2. You will get the right answer of the problem. Fine. 13. Sorry, it's so 11. 13 minus 11 by 2 and 13 minus 11 divided by 13 plus 11. Look at the next example. So again it's a frequency. First of all you can see the given class interval is not a continuous. Fine. Continuous distribution तो नहीं है. How you can check about the continuous distribution? इसका upper limit और इसका lower limit must be same. लेकिन यहाँ तो same नहीं है. तो how you can make the same? इन दोनों में difference कितना है? 5 to 7 and 8 to 10. इन दोनों में difference कितना है आपका? 1 का. तो यू कैन हाफ ऑफ देम. जितना भी डिफरेंस आएगा उसका हाफ करो और इस वाली लाइन में उतना हाफ माइनस कर दो और इस वाली लाइन उतना हाफ प्लस कर दो। अगर आपकी क्लास इंटरवल कुछ ऐसी होती 5 to 7, 9 to 11 फाइन एंड सो ऑन, तो आपका कितना गैप है ये 2 यूनिट्स का। सो 2 का हाफ करो 1, तो राइट हैंड साइड पे +1 कर देना है, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे -1 कर देना है। तो जैसे आप करोगे तो ये नंबर क्या बन गया आपका 4.5, 7.5, नेक्स्ट वैल्यू विल बी 7.5, 10.5 एंड सो ऑन। सो आई कैन राइट इन द टर्म्स ऑफ द टेबल। अब आप इसकी क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी निकाल लो। फर्स्ट नंबर विल बी 14, सेकंड नंबर विल बी माई 38 एंड सो ऑन। यू कैन गेट द required cumulative frequency table. Now your target is to find the Q1. That will firstly you have to find the cumulative frequency which is just greater than of the n/4. तो n/4 कितना आपका 25. So can you find the cumulative frequency which is just greater than of the 25? That is my 38. तो आपकी क्लास क्या बन गई 7.5 से 10.5. Now you can calculate what is the L, क्योंकि आपको फॉर्मूला में लगाना है L प्लस H/F n/4 minus C. So what is the L? L of the cumulative class quartile class is 7.5. H will be my 24. H is not a 24. What is the H? The difference between them is 3. F is my 24. Capital C is the cumulative frequency just preceding the quartile class, that is my 14. I can substitute all these values in the required formula and then you can get the answer is 8.875. आप अपना आंसर एग्जाम में चेक भी कर सकते हो, जो भी आंसर आएगा इस क्वार्टाइल क्लास के बीच में ही आना चाहिए कहीं ना कहीं पे। Similarly, you can find for the Q3, I calculate the 3n/4. 3n/4 is my 75. Look at the number which is just greater than 75. The quartile class is 10.5 to 13.5. What is the L? L is my 13.5. H, the difference is my 3. H हो गया आपका F. The class corresponding to the quartile class is a 38 and the C which is just preceding of the quartile class, it's my 38. I can substitute both the values in the given equations. You will get the 13.42 is the right answer. Substitute all these values in the given coefficient of the quartile deviations and the quartile deviation formula. You can get the required results. Okay, these 4 questions as an exercise for you. You can solve it and let me know your answers in the comment box. You can write the answer first question, second question, third and the fourth. We will see the next lecture on the mean deviation, another measure of the dispersion very soon. Till then, you can share this video with your friends, like and comment on the videos. Best of luck students. Happy luck.